was recently in a live stream of my friend Christina Smallhorn, and I had a commenter ask me what has been the effects of all of the Zillow sales or Zillow drama that's been happening over the last month or two. And it's so funny because I remember when it was happening, there were so many videos and people coming out and saying, oh my gosh, this is the beginning of the end. The housing market has begun. No, not the housing market. The housing market crash has begun. And if you remember, I was one of the few people that actually came out and said, guys, chill. It's just a company that made a terrible life decision too, I guess. Nothing to freak out about. People would rather believe that there is a huge Illuminati conspiracy and that they know something that we don't and the market is going to crash and they're trying to pull out than believe that they just made a really shitty decision to get into the business of iBuying. And probably, if you ask me, hired a bunch of people that they shouldn't have hired, that are managers that really weren't looking at the details, and they were just going rampant buying houses without some kind of oversight or understanding of how much to pay for these houses. Well, let's go over the data to see what's been going on. So I am focusing only on the Phoenix market, which is a heavily influenced Zillow market. So feel free to use this as a good indicator. Now, I can't give you data on other cities, but you can always ask a local agent to get this info for you. So first and foremost, let's evaluate the past 60 days of sales and see what the effects there has been. I'm going to be focusing on two specific companies right now, Zillow and Opendoor. They're the two main ones. And if there's other companies you guys want me to check out, just let me know in the description. So, oh, there's a little bell. So there has been about 1,770 sales in total that have happened in the last 60 days of sales in the Phoenix, Arizona area. Now, this is the ARMLS, the ARM list, focusing only in Maricopa County, not necessarily the Pinal County and different areas, but you can get a good sense of everything happening here. So essentially, if I draw a nice little map for y'all, it might not show me every single house, but you can tell the majority of them are going to be in that little box. So there's been 1,770 sales in the last 60 days. And the fear was that there was going to be this massive impact, right? That the Zillow thing was completely going to just shake the foundation of the market. If you were to guess, how many sales do you think out of the 17,770 were Zillow sales? If you can't come up with numbers, give me a percentage. What's a percentage you think? You know, a lot of people were under the influence that 20% or 30% of houses were going to be Zillow's, and it's going to be this huge impact because people would say, all I see is Zillow listings anywhere I drive. They're just everywhere. Well, the reality is out of 17,770, only 394 of them were Zillow properties. And if that doesn't really line it for you, I made this fancy pie chart. That's right. I have charts for y'all where it shows you the percentage of houses that sold via Zillow over the last 60 days. Let's look at Opendoor. Opendoor, how many? Surprisingly more than Zillow, 748. Still not enough though. Still a pretty big chunk here that are not influenced by them. And if you're curious to seeing what the current situation of available houses are, there are currently 162 houses for sale that are Zillow properties. And if you just add up all of them, there's 6,469. By the way, this video is sponsored by homeandmoney.com/Javier. If you're looking for a great agent to work with, we have a great team of people ready to connect you with at a moment's notice. And I'm just kidding. Give us some time. They can connect you with an agent, follow up with you and the agent to make sure you're being taken care of. And hey, even if you haven't found the agent yet, you know, you want to just throw one in there to maybe interview, go ahead and check it out. homeandmoney.com/Javier. So about 2.5% of houses being Zillow. Now, yes, it's very juicy. Like if you look at some of these houses, you can, really, it's really fun to just speculate about how crazy they've been. Like, look at this house they bought in Goodyear. It's been on the market for 4 days. They're trying to sell it for $384, and they bought it for $389 in November. Ooh, what were they thinking? This one is listed for $385 in Gilbert. They bought it for $383. Ooh, what are they thinking? Yes, it's fun to do that, but what people didn't realize is that, once again, it was just a terrible business decision. And the reason why people were seeing nothing but Zillow properties is that effect, like when you're looking to buy a car. Let's say you're looking you like the Camrys, right? You start looking at them, you start researching them, you start driving around, and you see Camrys everywhere. Holy crap, there's another Camry. Oh my gosh, there's another Camry. Oh my gosh, this cousin of mine who always had this car I never noticed was a Camry. Well, it's because you guys were trained to look out for that stuff. Now, quite frankly, 3% of house sales are not going to affect the market as a whole. So The effects of this has been really minor at all. And once again, you guys have been duped. If we look at the actual sales of the Zillow properties to see what the effects have been, like let's really hyper focus in the last, let's say 15 days. If we pick out a random house, let's say this one that just closed, this one was listed originally at 411, listed at 375, and they ended up selling it for $10,000 more. So if we look at the history, actually, because I have access to that, I can see here that they were listed at 411 in November, reduced it to 389 in September, end of September, sorry, reduced it to 375 in the beginning of October, and went under contract for 375, fell through, went under contract again, and the new contract sold for 385. So even though after the news broke about Zillow, someone still had to pay 10,000 over the 375. Another example here in Levine, originally was listed at 430. Yes, ridiculous price in the middle of October. End of October, they reduced it to 399, and eventually, a month later, it sold for 400, which is about $100 more than they were listed at. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, it was a simple Zillow got too greedy. The price should have been here. They reduced the price to here. And, well, that's the price that it sold for, because that's where it should have sold for in the first place. And there, even though they reduced some of them, there's still properties that people still overbid. A lot of times we have to be aware that the market itself isn't controlled by external circumstances, but rather sometimes it's controlled by our reaction to things, our reaction to the Zillow news. Like, I remember a month ago when the whole Zillow news broke out, a bunch of people went out and they're like, oh my gosh, Zillow's going to have a fire sale, right? Because that was a big term. And people were trying to make lowball offers on Zillows, and they'd be like, I certainly had two situations where we made offers and they did not want to play ball with us at all. So hasn't been a really huge impact, to be quite frank with y'all. So I would still look out for opportunities with like longer days on market listings. I had just got somebody under contract that wasn't an open door house, but it was a company that's helping them sell the houses that they couldn't sell. They were listed at $400,000, and we went to go check it out. 40 days on the market, had the AC missing, it was stolen, and we saw that they bought it for $375, and we offered $380, and we got it with a new AC. So you still obviously look out for those opportunities and definitely try to take advantage of it. But has it been this big impact where the market completely shifted? No, not at all.